Hello there. Welcome to 2025. How are you guys? It has been a very long time, I feel like, since I last talked to you. But it's the first vlog of 2025, so welcome back, or maybe welcome if you're new here. My name is Maria and I'm a knitwear designer based in Glasgow. And this channel is all about knitting, from knitting vlogs to deep dives into certain knitting topics, yarns. There's something for everyone, I feel like. But yeah, welcome, hi. I thought I'd take a minute, sit down with you, enjoy a little morning coffee, and just take a little breather. I feel like everybody has been back at work for such a long time, but I've only just started. And it's because Emma's birthday is so close to New Year's that we kind of stretch the New Year's break a little bit longer to still catch her birthday. So I feel like I'm only just starting and everybody's already been back in the deep in it. Whew. So where do I even start? I have actually written down some notes of all the stuff that I want to say because this is the third time that I filmed this intro. The first time, the whole footage was just fully out of focus, so I couldn't use it. And then the second time, I was doing it while I was doing my makeup and I just got so distracted. I constantly lost my train of thought. Third time is the charm. So I've written down some notes of everything that I want to say. So let's get to it. The first thing on the note says, I am so excited for 2025. And I am. I really am. I feel like the break gave me a really good opportunity to sit down, catch my breath, and reflect and set goals for the new year that are hopefully achievable and that I'm excited about. So that felt really good. And I think I'll maybe talk a little bit about how I've done that later on in the video. And I have sat down and planned out my year, which took a whole morning, but I think it's a really important exercise in order for you to achieve your goals, to sit down and plan out how you're going to achieve them. So I spent a good chunk of time doing that and I feel really good about it. So I think I'll show you later how I've done that and who gave me the tools to be able to do that. So since we had a lot of time during the break, I did get quite a bit of knitting done. I first of all revisited an old design that I did last summer. So if you've been around for a hot minute and you've seen my summer holiday vlog, you've seen that I knitted a pink and blue cardigan for Emma, my kid, because she went through a real phase of not wanting to wear anything long sleeved. And so I sat her down. I was like, what colors do you want? Should it have pockets? How long do you want it to be? All these things. And she told me exactly what she wanted, and that's what I've made. And lo and behold, she did wear it at the end, which was mission accomplished for me. But it was a very quick thing that I whipped up and I didn't put too much thought into it. And it definitely wasn't anywhere near being ready for a release. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to release it. But over the kind of Christmas time and as my creativity came back, I was flicking through some knitting books. I really realized how much I actually love and enjoy adding things to my knits. So I love adding on embroideries or writing afterwards. And I really wanted to have one of these blank canvas, simple designs in my lineup where you can just let your creativity roam wild. And if you want to add embroidery, you can. If you want to add their name to the back, you can. If you just want to add on stripes, you can. So I really wanted to make something like that. Oh, the bin truck just rolled up, so I'm going to take a little break. Where was I? This is not great for my train of thought. So I decided to revive the pattern and change the things that I wanted to change. And I think I just went a bit overboard. I've made some changes to the top of the yoke, specifically around the neckline. And it's just not the way I wanted to be and look. And so I decided to frog it. Surprise, surprise. But it's just part of designing knitwear. And I don't mind it at all. I'm always camp, mistakes are lessons learned. So I don't mind at all. And I've actually filmed how I frogged it because I thought it'd be interesting for you to see how I do that. Specifically how I do it when I need the yarn back ASAP and I can't wait for it to dry. So there's no washing involved, but I'll show you later. So I've knitted on that cardigan all Christmas break and now it's all yarn again. And I've actually started knitting it again. I think I've nailed it now. I have done the back yoke already. I've done the 2 front shoulder pieces already, and I'm fairly happy and confident that this time it'll work out. What I would like to do today is add the collar just to be able to fully see it and make a better decision. And then once Emma comes back from nursery, I will put it on her and hopefully it'll fit the way I wanted it to. Other than that, I have been finishing another Refuweegee hat, which if you don't know, the Refuweegee hat is a pattern I brought out last October, and it's in support of a charity that we have here in Glasgow that's called Refuweegee, and they help forcibly displaced people sort of like find their feet and get a warm welcome into Scotland. And one of the things they do is welcome packs. So you can pack a bag or rucksack and you can add in some snacks and some toiletries, but also some warm clothing. And part of the idea of the Refuweegee hat is that we all make these hats so that they can add a hand-knitted hat into these welcome packs, which will then get distributed to people who newly arrive in the city. And I've been to their offices a few times, visited them. They are such an amazing team and I really, really love them. And besides knitting hats for them, between October 2024 and March 2025, all pattern sales for the Refuweegee hat will go to Refuweegee. And I think we are actually pretty close to hitting £500 in donations so far. I'm really excited about that, and I would not have thought that we'd hit this number. And in the coming weeks, I will launch a little giveaway to thank everyone who's participated so far, but also to just kind of, roll the marketing drum a little bit more again, because we're kind of halfway there. So watch out for that. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see a little bit more about that. I will leave all the information that you need for the Refuweegee hat down below if you want to buy it, if you want to know more about it. I did a whole video on it and about Refuweegee. So it would be great if you could have a look at the pattern and maybe decide to buy it to help out this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful cause. Anyways, I think that's kind of all to update you on. And now it's time to finally have some breakfast. I'll have shown you in the clip before. I went to the gym. It is a new year, new me. No. I just really want to get back into the fitness gym routine because I really fell off the bandwagon with that last year. After all the illnesses of winter, I just really didn't get back into it. And I barely ran all summer long. And then sort of in December, I sort of found my mojo back and I thought, you know what, I'm actually really missing it. And I went to the gym to run on the treadmill there a few times and I'm really enjoying it. I did miss it. So I want to get back into that, but also get back into doing some strengthening exercises to help with my aging body. I know I'm only 33, but you want to start as early as you can. So anyway, I've not had breakfast yet. I've only been fueled by coffee. So let's get another coffee and some food. And then we'll sit down and talk a little bit more about how I've planned my year. Well, that was a fail. The audio was so quiet in that clip, the mic just didn't pick it up well enough. I think it's time for some new mics. But basically what I was telling you about a week ago in my kitchen is a book that I've listened to as an audiobook, and it's called Feel Good Productivity. And in there, the author is basically explaining how you can set yourself achievable goals and how you manage to get to them. For me, the biggest take-home message of it was to set yourself goals for every quarter. So instead of the entire year, you're just looking at 3 months' time and what you can achieve in that time. And then you're going to review your goals every single week and see how much closer you have gotten to get to them. And you set yourself tasks which will get you to your goal. And I think that to me will be the key because it makes everything a lot more manageable and it makes it feel attainable because I'm actually setting myself tasks and things to do in order to get to my goals. And that was all I was telling you in that little clip. And I've basically left you saying that it is time for breakfast now. So I'll go cook some breakfast and you guys can watch how I unraveled the cardigan and how I go from the curly yarn to some manageable and workable yarn balls again. Hopefully that helps you too if you ever need to frog. So enjoy that now. We are about to unravel the second version of what I think I'll call the Wild Meadow Cardigan. And I just wanted to show you before I unravel where I've gotten to and why I'm going to unravel it. This is a kid's design. This is a kid's cardigan, and the idea is to have just a very plain, simple drop shoulder stockinette canvas for you to add your embroidery to. And I'm calling it Wild Meadow Cardigan because I'm going to add flowers along the collar, which are going to be flowers from Scottish meadows. So hence why the name. Now this is really the second sample that I've worked for this. It looks similar to the last one, but just a few tweaks. Now what I mainly don't like is the shoulders. So you see how much they slope, and I just think they slope way too much and it's creating a weird shape for the collar. I don't really like the way the collar sits, and so I decided to change it. It rides up a little bit too high onto the neck. I'm just not a fan of that. And I'm also not the biggest fan of the afterthought pockets. Emma is such a huge fan of pockets, so I decided to add in afterthought pockets because I wanted to leave it up to the knitter. But to me, they kind of just look a bit bulky. I just don't feel like it's the neatest, and that really bothers me. I think for the next one, I'm going to just do normal pockets and integrate them into the knit. So yeah, mainly changing the collar and the shaping of the shoulders at the front. I mean, you just live and learn, and it's very slight tweaks and it's very specific tweaks, but yeah, I just don't want to publish it that way. So I'm going to rip this back and I'll show you a little bit of how I do that. And then the rest, my husband will kindly do in the evening for me while I sit there and knit the second sample. Basically what I'll do, I'll just start maybe unraveling the sleeves, and then because this has been blocked, everything will be in its final shape and it will look a lot like pot noodles, but I'll run it very quickly through my straighteners, and that makes the yarn nice and straight to work with again. And I've tried that method a lot of times as well with this sample actually. So it works. You just have to be careful with the heat settings and you have to do it quickly. I'll show you how I do it just in case you need to frog, and then you know at least how to get your yarn back and how to be able to use it again. Now I've got my straighteners here. I've got them on the lowest heat setting and they are heated up. And what I'll do now is I will take the yarn and run it through fairly quickly. Just like that. You can see it's taking out the king quite well, and this will be really absolutely fine to knit with, and it'll look really lovely again once everything has been knitted up and blocked. What I would recommend that you do is always test it on a little piece. Never do this with acrylic yarn. The yarns that I'll be using are either 100% merino or 100% superwash merino. So always test it out on a little piece. Never do it with fully plastic acrylic yarns, and be very, very careful. So this is what we've ended up with now, which looks a lot better than where we started. And now I'll just wind this into a little ball so that I can knit from it again. Yeah, that's just one way that you could straighten out yarn and reuse the yarn from a project that you need to frog. I will actually not do the wind up by hand like this for the big part of the sleeve. I will just wind it onto my yarn cake winder as I straighten it, just because that's easier and that's keeping things like in order so it doesn't tangle. Okay, let's do the big sleeve. Breakfast is served. I've made myself some avocado, and then I found some peppers that look good, and I just chopped those up with a little bit of onion, fried them, and then just put everything on a little rye bread from Lidl, which is one of my favorites. And then I've got my second coffee top up. Main goal today is to, I think, finish up the front yoke grading, add that into the Word document, and then I also need to start editing the video that goes up on Saturday, which you'll have seen last week. If you have missed it, I have made a video about the new C-knit curve needles. I've been testing them for a while now, and spoiler, I really like them. So if you want to see a little bit of a review on that, I'll leave the link up here somewhere. You left? I think it's on my left. Up here. I would be so happy if I managed to get in a walk, because it seems to be a nice day. The sun has finally come out and I am so happy. I need all the sunshine I can get. So I think if I manage to, even if it's just for 20 minutes, I'd love to go to the park and just walk for a little bit. Anyhow, let's get on with it. Stop chatting, Maria. Right, my brother's messaging. But before I answer him, I thought it would be cool to show you guys how I organize everything. Since this is seeming to be a really organizational, get into the new year kind of vlog, I thought I might just show you the program that I'm using. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I'm using a program called Notion. And in there, I have basically made myself a little Wild Knits Glasgow headquarters database. And that's where I plan out all my designs. So this is what my Notion looks like. In here, I've got kind of my projects that I have planned. And so whenever I go into a project like this one here, for example, I can see when I have my key deadlines now, and I can also see the calendar for everything. So that when I go into my actual Notions calendar, I see when each of the sort of milestone points of each pattern are due, so that I have a good overview every month of where I need to be at, where I need to get to. So yeah, I think it's a really great tool. I'll leave a link to this template down below if you want to. And yeah. So what is happening today? Let's see. Oh my god, I feel like the day is just running away from me. I need to go soon, and I have ticked off 2 things from my to-do list. I got so obsessed with the website stuff, and it just dragged me in, but I think I've nailed it. I think I know what I want to do now and how I'm going to do it, so it's huge progress at least. Still have about, I don't know, maybe like half an hour or so. I'll see if I can get a touch of grading done, or at least kind of find my bearings of where I am with the cardigan, because I really want to continue knitting on that in the evening. Actually, why don't I just show you? I'll grab it, just a sec. So I am knitting this again in the green color from Ginger Twist. The colorway is called Factory Girls, and it's the Pep in Your Step worsted. So hand dyed, and it's just this lovely like green marbled, which I absolutely love. It's got like darker speckles and lighter speckles. So I have just finished the back yoke. I've finished the right front shoulder, and I'm doing the left shoulder now. And I think what I'll do then is join it. So the cast on the underarms, join all the 3 pieces together, and then knit for a few rows so that it's stable. And then I think I'll put in the collar, because that was one of the big issues that I've had with the last sample. So I think once that's in, I can then tell if I like what I've done or not. But yeah, I think so far so good. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to knit on this in the evening again, and then I know kind of where I want to go, and I have until the 31st until I want to give this to my tech editor. I'm pretty confident if this version turns out well that I'll get it done in time. Anyways, so yeah, very quick cut, and then hopefully a little bit of time for a walk. Good morning, everybody. It's the next day. I have not finished the video yesterday like I intended to, but as soon as Emma's home, it's just all about her, and I just have no brain space for creating a video in the evening. I did a bit of knitting. I finished the yoke of the cardigan that I told you about yesterday, and I'm ready for the collar. So I think this morning I will try and find some time to finish the collar. But I've just opened up my Notions and I'm starting to plan my day. I have to do some work for Lydia as well today. I need to finish the edit for Saturday's video, and then I also want to continue working on the grading for the Wild Meadow Cardigan. But I think I need to know whether this version is working out the way I wanted to now or not. So yeah, I think I'm going to prioritize doing the collar. I think I'll just take you along with me until I finish the collar to just kind of summarize that and finish that. And then we can finish the vlog. So this is what I have done. So in this version, I've basically extended the back neck, made that a bit longer, and then I have not shaped the shoulders as dramatically. So the short row slope here is a bit less intense, and then I have made this shaping longer as well. And I think it did work. I think it created the collar that I was looking for. I'm pretty happy with what I've done, and I think I'll just go ahead and finish the grading for this cardigan and then get to the layout next week. All right, I think I'll leave the vlog here. Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I plan and organize my year. Hopefully I'll stick to my goals. If you fancy, please stick around, hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you again soon in another one. Not sure what that's going to be yet, but I'm excited and I can't wait to see you again. So have a lovely rest of your day,